Like, we're always going to have problems in the work that we do, but as long as they're new and different and we're not doing the same problems over and over again, I think that's better than what we are.
I'm Rudy Curry.
And I'm Marcel Berger.
Welcome to The Root. In just a second, we meet Amanda and Ken, founders of the furniture brand Eva. They started out as an online mattress store in 2017 with a really simple philosophy: great quality products that won't break the bank. Let's fast forward now to 2025. Their business has really expanded. They've moved from beyond just mattresses and added furniture to their product range. And even more significant than that, they've added bricks and mortar stores to what was only a digital business, with a showroom in Melbourne and another one about to open in Sydney.
But before we get to our guests, let's do a quick intro from us.
Like I said, my name's Rudy. I'm the Chief Digital Officer of Fisher & Paykel Appliances. I've spent my career leading transformations, not just in the technology space, but in areas like finance, marketing, sales, and customer experience.
And I'm Marcel. If Rudy's the office, I'm the street. Having founded 5 businesses, most recently with Factor Bikes, growing 6x over 4 years and exiting to private equity, digital transformation needs to match business strategy. And through The Root, Rudy and I are hoping to help you not make the mistakes that we have and set yourself up for success. Okay, shall we get into this?
Let's do it. Eva. So there's Amanda.
So my name is Amanda New. I was a clinical neuropsychologist before I went into Eva full time.
And Ken.
Same as Amanda, disappointing our Asian parents. I did electrical engineering and decided this is not going to be my life and decided to do retail essentially.
Where does the name Eva come from?
Oh, which story do you want to get? There's 2 stories. The real story is the boring story, and then there's also the marketing story, which we tell. I'll tell you both. Eva in Latin means life. So Eva is life. And that fits really well with our ethos of making sure that our products are livable and can take with you from place to place. The real story is that we knew that for our customers, the female is often going to be the main decision maker in the home around interiors and styling. And so we knew it had to be a female name.
Very clever. You can really see that neuropsych background coming into play.
Eva is a well-established brand in Australia and New Zealand. Is further expansion on the cards, I wonder?
In America, the person who holds the trademark for Eva is Eva Longoria.
Yes.
So we'll have to go have a chat with her.
Sounds like a collab up to me.
That's right.
Potentially.
Great joint venture.
Sounds like commission. She's going to get commission for the rest of her life.
Yeah. As founder of a growing business, Amanda and Ken have a lot of challenges to think about. And right now, Ken is in the middle of solving a big one.
We just officially signed on an ERP. The work's starting next week.
ERP, that's one for the jargon jar, but more on that later.
Of course, for those who don't know what ERP stands for, it's Enterprise Resource Planning. It's meant to be the control room or the control engine of a big organization. And yes, it can be as much of a headache as it sounds.
I told Amanda, after ERP, I'm going to retire. It's just sucking the soul out. It's just so much work. And it needs to be done, but it's really, really painful, especially the business is at a certain size, processes, systems, and a way of doing stuff, and no one really likes to change. I think I look great without hair anyway, so it's fine.
Up until now, what are you operating off?
So we actually built our own internal program. We call it Garage, and I wouldn't say it's okay. It does its job, but we kind of built like a mini ERP without the knowledge of building ERP. So there's a lot of programs that's just being bolted on and lots of Excel files at the same time to try to solve the problem that we didn't actually think about.
But even that program, Garage, we started it, what would have been, 6 years ago, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And at the time, the reason why we made it was because we just felt that there was no program that was able to support our inventory needs, because we have warehouses shipped. It's basically warehouse in almost every state. And as we expanded the range, our modular sofa, so the everyday sofa, which is this one right behind me, it became more complex because one product is made of multiple different types. As you know, Marcel, different SKUs. And so if you have one piece that's missing, then suddenly you can't sell 2 or 3 different variants, but the other ones are there. Combine that with the fact that our sofa covers, the colors, are a separate box in itself. So there was multiple levels to the product that suddenly garage itself had to then do a whole do-over to be able to support the modularity of our products. And the more we added products, the more it became more and more complex.
And Amanda, 8 different colors at the same time, and it being in stock across 5 warehouses
Different warehouses.
across Australia. And next day delivery for it as well.
Well, we're both intimately familiar with this
Yes.
problem. So if you think about, where Marcel's come from,
Well, we had 13 components to a complete bike.
Yeah.
Where one single component is out, then you're out of stock.
Wow.
Shopify doesn't work because they have 3 options, not 13. Which doesn't matter how many variants they plonk in there. And Rudy sells $20,000 fridges.
yeah. So we've experienced the same thing. Integrated refrigerators, you need up to 10 different parts to finish the product, to install it. You might need doors, handles, kick plates, all that sort of stuff. So both familiar at it. I'd like to say that I've actually solved it. So
okay.
that's
We're out then.
Oh, that's right.
no, but let's go back. So that's the thing that's kind of frustrating the business, holding the growth back a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So how did you go from that problem to I need an ERP?
Well, it's a couple of years, so let's put it that way. We started with garage, and then we've started bringing people in that have experience. And it's like, what is this? Like, this is not ERP. This is like, it's like, this is not how you do stuff. And like, that's probably one of the reasons why I knew that we needed ERP. But at the same time, as we kind of just spoke to a lot of people, different businesses, and Marcel as well, just knowing like we need a program eventually that just ties everything together. At the moment, like, for our customer service team to get information, they had to look at 4 or 5 different programs, where like on a normal basis, that information would just come from like one screen, which is ERP.
I'm actually interested to take it back one step even further.
Yeah.
What took you guys down the personalization road?
Well, there you go. This is like pre, the pre-VC side of things, where I thought that mainly driven by me. I thought that we could be a retail company and a SaaS business where we build a SaaS platform and eventually license that out as well. So it's like, you know what, there might be a really good opportunity to build that. And maybe coupled with the fact that we're a little bit more younger, naive, and just want to build stuff, But look, it wasn't that we want to build it. It's just like it didn't exist in the market. It's like, okay, great, let's build it. That was just how we were. And obviously that was 7 years ago, and I didn't know about Microsoft Dynamics back then. No one told me about that, So that's just a mistake, I guess.
Well, obviously, I assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you moved into modular sofas, which is a personalization product, because the, buying cycle, or at least repeat buying cycle on a mattress is not that great.
It was, part of understanding where is the biggest market share in the home furniture industry. And we know the living room is a really big, it's probably the biggest living room, then probably the bedroom, dining room. So it was part of expanding our market as well. The reason why the personalization route was because we knew for Eva, if it's thinking about real life, how do we make sure that this product can fit as many different size homes as possible? And to allow for that, modularity was always first and foremost. And then we decided to take a step further and make it removable covers, and then we just kept adding. And really it's that customer for us is what's driven this direction, but then it makes it a lot more complicated for us in the back.
At what point of scale did it really become complicated?
Ooh.
Probably once the everyday sofa launched, that really just broke everything.
I
we
mean,
were like, oh.
We weren't ready from the tech side of things. Like, look, we were founders doing this for the first time in the industry. We've never been in as well. Like, we had this idea on how to solve it from the customer, but obviously from the back end side of things, like, oh yeah, this could work. But then when we launched, like, wow, just the complexity that is required from,
So
program.
day one, you felt the pain.
I have to be honest, the mattress business was easier. It was just like a queen mattress, every state.
One box.
Yeah,
One box,
one box
basically.
off a shelf. Off you go.
Yeah.
The moment we got into furniture was just hell for the last 7 years, 6 years basically.
So what's the ERP going to do for the business?
Well, the ERP is just going to tie in, let's see, our freight, our warehousing, our CRM, our demand planning, our finance, all under one. At the moment, they're all separate programs.
So it's integration. Operational
It
integration.
just really integration, and
Yep.
this first phase is really supply chain and our customer service team just being more efficient.
Visibility, I think.
Yep.
Visibility and accuracy, really, because we do rely on a lot of spreadsheets still.
Too
And-
many.
Everyone does.
Yeah, and it's like there's so much manual work involved with that like for a customer service person to spend 30% of the day just following up on spreadsheets and think, is this updated? Is this not? Pinging in Slack, hey, is this the most up-to-date thing? It's like, how do we save time by making sure that it is accurate, it's all in one place and all the sources are integrated together?
So is it being built for now or for tomorrow?
For now and tomorrow. So famous last words. Yeah, but a lot.
Let me ask that question a different way. Okay, so there's pros and cons to having a full, one system that does it all, or that plays the central role. I mean, did you think about that you might outgrow the single system, and then what would you do?
Yes.
I mean, that's the first thing that comes to mind. The second thing is, did you really test whether integrating these things together will get you the value that you think it will get you?
At this moment, ERP would be a major upgrade regardless of like what it is, because at the moment the people are the systems, like the supply chain, the CSM is
risk is
powered
so
by
high.
people, and they can't be sick. They have to be like 110% every single day. They can't go on holidays as well, and someone just decides to go for like a 2-week holiday, like the whole entire system goes with them essentially. It's a massive risk for the business.
When did you start your scoping?
2 years ago.
I would assume then AI in its current state wasn't included within that scoping exercise.
Nope. So, nope.
Have you thought about that?
Not from a demand planning side of things, but definitely from a customer service side of things, and probably I would say our training manuals and stuff. So the demand planning side of things is being done by another company anyway. We're just bolting onto it.
Yeah,
so
true.
I'm just going to trust that they're going to be part of the AI side. They'll be thinking about the AI because we're paying them quite a lot of money for the subscription. If they're not, we'll just swap them out with something else. Microsoft wise, look, they are the one moving the whole entire AI. So I hope that they I hope so. I mean, we are thinking, but that being said, the answer is like we haven't had a serious conversation about this yet on how it will affect the ERP.
From a scale perspective, where does this get you as a business?
We can essentially like double or triple the business without increasing our OPEX. And when I mean OPEX, we don't have to increase our size of the supply chain, logistic, and customer service team as a start. If we double our size tomorrow, like with the processes we have, we probably have to hire like 3 or 4 new people to scale because they are the system. And yeah, we just can't do that. And first of all, we can't train people quick enough. We need about a month to train them, for example, just on the programs. So that's where I see the massive growth and scale will come from.
How do you feel, Amanda, about that? About doubling and tripling the size of your business and leaving it all up to a computer?
Great. Great. We'll have different type of problems. Like we're always going to have problems in the work that we do, but as long as they're new and different and we're not doing the same problems over and over again, I think that's better than what we are. So
yeah. And it's really limiting our growth at the moment. Like at this moment, like we can't there's no integration. Marketing can't get the information quick enough. We can't move fast. Like just getting information quicker will allow us to move like 20% quicker already as a business.
And I would assume as well, the move into retail becomes core in needing an ERP because you just need that accurate data in more places at the same time.
Yep, that's right. Like retail, for example, someone's going to come like, hey, I want to get this sofa delivered. When can I get it delivered? Like the system will allow our retail team to tell the customer. At this moment, it's manual. It's like, at this moment, it's like, give me 5 minutes. Let me check that information.
Nice.
I think what it also allows us to do is then to add on new services into the systems that we've created. So for example, yes, we do have next day delivery, and we added, I think would have been last year, we added another service, which was into the room delivery. And in the next stage of that is then white glove delivery, which is setting it all up and taking everything away. And the problem we had previously was even adding in a different delivery service into the room of choice. That took so long for us because we were working with this program we had created 7 years ago. That was like, okay, how do we do this? And the plan with the ERP was to make sure that every time we have an additional service we could provide to our customers, it's going to be a really seamless way to provide that and not take, the time that it did take.
I tell you what's the most intriguing thing for me. Traditionally, you see businesses, they start off traditionally bricks and mortar, and then they go, we need to do this digital thing. And they do that, and it becomes, an add-on business unit or just this little thing on the side. You guys have done it the other way around. You started digital only, and Marcel kind of hinted at your store experiences. So now you're moving out of the digital realm and going to physical. Why? What's the insights that you've got there that have led you to go down that path?
Yeah, honestly, customers have been asking us for so many years, where can I see your products in person? This really came to fruition probably when the sofas launched. I think mattresses was a different subset. They were okay with the trial and trying it in their home for 100 nights. That made sense. But with pieces that were front and center in their house, they're going to see it every day. They just needed another point where they could feel confident that this is a purchase that they were confident with. I think we do still offer quite a long trial period or return policy for our sofas, is 60 days. But even still, we still have customers saying, well, I'd want to be really, really sure. It's not a cheap product, and I'm going to be living with this and seeing it in my face every day. And my friends will see it, my family will see it. And so we then experimented with some pop-ups in Melbourne in 2023, and that was really just say, okay, let's see what happens, whatever. And it turned out to be really, really successful. So we did 2 pop-ups in Melbourne to kind of test which parts of Melbourne we felt our customers more sort of resonated with, and it was definitely the north side. And so that kind of led to our decision to find a permanent store, which is now it's in Carlton. So it's been quite a successful kind of be where your customers are kind of journey.
Obviously, when you started the business, and even just talking about that entire ERP conversation, it's all about efficiencies for scale. Is this a handbrake on that?
A handbrake?
Coming up, is opening bricks and mortar locations a handbrake for growth as they pivot away from focusing purely on digital execution?
I think a matter of perspective.
This is The Root. We're online at therootpodcast.com and on your socials at Listen to The Root.
This is The Root. Now back to Amanda and Ken.
I don't see it as a handbrake. I see it as an accelerant.
Okay.
It's an investment in how do we help our customers feel confident with the brand. And that allows us to continue to scale even more so into the future. So it's kind of like treating it as another channel that we spend time, effort, creative and tears in to be able to then set it up for the future. We're going wide, but slowly and probably sustainably, because we know, being bootstrapped, we spend what we earn. And so we're sort of, with the ERP, it also gives us greater visibility across our finances and cash flow position, and hopefully bring it to light, decision making faster.
Well, it's funny you say that. I come from the same world. I've never had massive influx of capital, so I don't even know what it feels like to just have like $10 million sitting in a bank and go, yeah, all right, let's go shopping. It's just like, no, just do what you can and make a buck and spend 80 cents of that buck and grow again. It kind of makes you really think about the customer, because you can't waste money, because your customer will tell you too fast if you're getting it wrong.
That's it. But then at the same time, trying to somehow mentally in your mind put some budget aside for experimentation as well.
Yes.
Because we can fall into the trap of just doing what we know and doing what we're comfortable in. And I guess, the reason why we did that pop-up as opposed to going straight into a store was to experiment and see and, put some learnings together and then try again. So in a way, making sure experimentation is always part of the mentality there.
Really like that.
For us, since launching the store, we've experimented with a bit more community-based events. So things like we've recently recertified as a B Corp this year, which is great. But this year we held a B Corp panel event where we had other B Corp businesses come together, and we talked about good business and good ethics and what does that look like in Carlton House as a showroom sort of venue. And we're able to now connect a lot closer with our customers in a way that feels like we are sort of genuine, we are authentic, and we're real people here, and come and sit on our couches and hang out.
So I come from a services background, particularly an experiences background, and post-pandemic in particular, there's this huge shift away from things to moments or experiences, or just the ability for human connection of some description. So it seems that whether subconsciously or consciously, that's almost what you've been doing through these B Corp get-togethers and your retail spaces. It's just allowing your customers to engage with you and each other.
We are creating homes, and like the Eva stores in Melbourne, Sydney is designed to really look like a home right now. And to kind of get people together, it's like the centerpiece of communities and events and stuff to be it. It's like, it's a different way of like just being part of the conversation and being part of like showing the brand as well without selling it, doing the hard sell.
It's a brilliant differentiator.
And are there things like, you spoke about, for example, the covers being boxed separately. So is that part of the sustainability story, the fact that you could, that's the thing that wears out first on furniture. So you've designed in sustainability from the start. So those things could be replaced, I assume. So if I've got one and 5 years down the track, it's been abused by my 3 children, speaking from experience.
5 years? Well played.
That's replaceable. So, So you're thinking about that right up in the design process, I assume.
Yeah, definitely. Like we sit down, we talk to our customers and say, all right, what are you going to use this for? And then that's how we got the information from like, all right, removable covers are going to be really important because the frame's going to last a long time. The warranty is going to be 5-10 years, if not. The cover's the one that goes if you're going to use it constantly. Yeah. Secondly, sofas are inherently like also almost like now moving to like a fashion piece where colors are at play. It's no longer like the gray and your oatmeals. You want different colors. So if you're as a business trying to do next day delivery across 8 colors without removable covers, the logistic and stock that we have is insane. So doing that piece, like also think, okay, we can actually scale in colors and keep things really lean at the same time. So it's like this perfect world of like solving customer problem and also solving like supply chain warehousing issues as well. Yeah.
I tell you what I'm really impressed about is how much you think about customers.
Yes.
And it's not often
any business.
A lot of people, there's a real trend to think internally, think about the business, but you guys both think very deeply about the customer and what the customer needs, which does lead me to another question, which is, how do you talk to customers? How do you collect that feedback through the kind of design process and maybe through the buying and post-sale journey?
It actually starts from marketing. We marketing launched this thing called Roundtable, where they sent out email to like a bunch of customers that has bought. It's like, hey, we're going to do this internal survey. Do you want to be part of this group? And then, that's where we get a group of people. Then from the product side of things, we kind of treat physical product as like product management in some ways, where it's like, okay, we're going to be designing this product. Let's talk to our customers to say, what's the wants and needs? These are designs and how would you use them as well. And then we get feedback on it, and then we do an iteration. And then we get customer interviews. Then after customer interviews, we get the product made in real life. And once we have that sofa or bookshelf or whatever it may be, we actually invite the customer into our office to say, all right, let's try it. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. Yeah. Exactly. User feedback. Like, do you like the firmness? Do you like the covers? Everything. Kind of like how you would run a product management for a SaaS product, but except physical. And you just, instead of doing it for 1 month, this goes on for like 7-8 months, essentially.
Yes.
And there's been many times, okay, not many, maybe like 2 or 3 times that the feedback that we received was not what was expected, which meant that we had to then either redesign that product or retweak it in a way that allowed us to be more confident that this product that we're spending so much time on is ready for launch. And I think there's been one particular product, I'm gonna just say it, our Dell bed frame. We recently launched this would have been September, October last year.
Yep.
That product took us almost 2 to 3 redesigns to get right. And that was based on customers coming in, giving us feedback around, the aesthetics through to the assembly, through to the comfort, through to, usability. And each time we did it was like, not quite right. And we had to make that decision on postponing the launch and redoing it until we got it right.
This would give you exceptional customer lifetime value.
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
Yep.
I think we are hovering around 30% customers coming back to us just purchasing it. I mean, it's, I would say, pretty high for a furniture business, but obviously for other businesses, it's probably much higher right now.
Luxury brand affinity is quite high, but down into, I guess, the mid-range, the mid-market, you're probably like upper mid. People go where the price.
Yeah, definitely. And end of financial year just got launched, and we've seen someone just come back and bought for the time and seeing start with the mattress and then the bed frame, and then bought a sofa, like a medium-sized sofa, then coming back again to buy like a module to make the sofa slightly bigger. So that was just literally the customer journey on this one particular customer that came back 2 days ago.
Oh, no, yeah. So now I'm really interested on how on earth you put your very customer-centric and very engaged product development cycle into your ERP.
We have not done that yet. We have not done that yet.
Okay, all right.
Everything
That's still
is
on a spreadsheet.
Exactly. Everything's up in our brain right now. So it's like
one thing at a time.
We've spoken about how you get customer insights through product development. Let's go through the other areas. What about marketing?
From a marketing side, we send a lot of surveys. I guess the first one we should talk about is our NPS survey that is broken up between the delivery experience. So they get a text right away once delivery's happened. How was your delivery? And that allows us to have direct feedback with our 3PLs, as an example, to ensure that they're continuing to deliver on their SLAs. Then the second one is about the product specifically. We do have another post-purchase survey that's sent out, I think, 14 days after purchase to talk to us about more of a marketing persona and any sort of insights that they have around why did they buy from us, who else were they considering at the time, what are their favorite parts of whatever product they purchased, and any other feedback that they could give us. All of these sort of reviews and surveys gets all channeled into a universal Slack channel where everybody in the company is a part of. So what that allows us to do is then our customer service team can see if there's a customer who's not quite happy with the product 14 days after, we then have the proactiveness to go out and reach out and say, hey, you just left us this review. Is there anything we can do to help you? And that's been really helpful in sort of slowing down any snowballing effects of customers right at that point they've expressed any disinterest or any
Fantastic.
dissatisfaction.
And so you said you've had a number of different platforms. Which CRM have you used? You mentioned Slack, but that's just, I guess, just a channel.
We don't really have a CRM, to be honest.
Wow.
We have Slack as a channel. We use Typeform as a survey that gets sent out. We use Klaviyo, kind of like a semi-CRM.
And obviously Shopify would have their customer record.
Shopify, yes. But mostly it's sent from Klaviyo, and then we use reviews platforms as well. So one that we use is Ask Nicely, which is for the SMSs that we send out.
Yep. Then
Then we use Akendo for reviews, product reviews later on. So yeah, a lot of different platforms that just...
No,
Ken's smiling. I want to know why Ken's got a smile on his face.
I mean,
it's a
like
nervous smile.
I mean, from a customer's from a flow perspective, it's great. Yeah, behind the scenes, wow, it's like this massive 6-7 different platforms that drives internally as crazy.
But it's funny. So one thing I love about it, and I am 100% against fully integrated SaaS, because I believe that is the definition of tech debt, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It allows you to stay nimble. And allows you to just try different things, because I think Rudy and I spoke about it the other day that as soon as I have nailed an AI, 2 weeks later, there's a better one. I can guarantee it every single time. That's how fast the market's going right now. So you need to be able to try what's best if it's back to the customer.
At least for the ERP at this current phase 1, which is supply chain, finance, product, that's our core. That's probably the core, the hub of the business. Where we can still stay nimble is keeping marketing phase 2 or phase 3 and seeing whether or not it is worth putting those functions within the same ERP, or we can continue to utilize these different platforms as we need.
I think that's very clever because most people would come at a scope quite differently. Would you agree, Rudy?
Definitely. And maybe some others might have started from the front and worked their way back. So then maybe they would have started at CRM and worked their way back to ERP.
Yep.
Yeah. Part of the conversation that we've had for the ERP is that, like, for example, we said, what happens if we need to change to a service provider, like, 3PLs, freight company? Like, we ran through the scenarios because there's always going to be competition and someone better that's going to come in. So that's been planned into it as well. So obviously, like, the platform device is going to stay, or well, at least for the contract period. And then all these bolt-ons right now, it was a connection through API and stuff, but you can just unbolt them as well. So we have this conversation in terms of like what we own and what we don't own, and there's like what's live with and without them as well. So I think we'll bring that across to marketing side things so that we can just unplug programs in and out if we need to be more competitive.
At the moment, you're very much holding back the scale to meet your, I guess, operational why and your purpose and the way you want to run the business. Like, will there come a point that you have pressures to let the shackles off?
Interesting question. I'll never say never, but at this stage right now, we don't need VC. And the reason why we thought about that VC before was because, like, cash flow was just, fundamentally after a couple of years in reflections, because cash flow is just really bad. And running retail at the end of the day is just getting your margins right and really get your cash flow right. Like, at this moment, we worked really hard the last 3 years to get our working capital, and basically, we have good terms with suppliers and stuff. And essentially, like, money comes into when money comes into Eva, it stays in the company for 90 days before it gets paid out to most creditors. So our cash flow is really well, and it allows us to kind of like just do stuff like store.
Are you sure you weren't an accountant as well, Ken?
I'm just on the ATO website every single day.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, well played. So the reason why I applaud it and I'm very much aligned with it is because at the end of the day, you'll never put either your business operation or your customer's experience at risk, regardless of the external pressure on scale. Yeah, and I just know firsthand in business that unfortunately you don't really get a lot of opportunities to make that choice. It's forced on you.
There's definitely becomes a tension between short and long term. That's for sure.
Yes,
and it's hard to navigate. When the shareholders are not the people running the business, that becomes a conflict, and that's agency theory that you learn in University 101 when you've got a disconnect between the financial owners and the people running the business.
Yeah.
Before COVID, like, a lot of the valuation for retail company was based on revenue, and which is insane. Like, right now it's changed, but obviously for a SaaS company, yes, like, you generate extra revenue, your value based on that. But for a retail company, is fundamentally your ability to generate profit. That's what's going to be your value, right? Like, it took like a long time for them to see, but now the companies that are doing like hundreds of millions of dollars without any profit, they're not going to be valued much at the end of the day because it's still a retail company.
Well, they won't be around anymore.
Exactly. 2 to 3%, one wrong move,
it's too hard.
Your whole entire business goes down. So adding more money to it would not guarantee your ability to create more profit. It's at the end, it comes back to like whether customers love you, you have a great product, it comes down to all the fundamentals of like what retail is, which is inherently just being a good executor and have great products for great people at a great price.
But you're more than just I think you're underselling it though. You're more than just retail. You create product from scratch. You're a
manufacturer,
you're a brand and manufacturer.
Yeah.
That also happens to do retail.
Yeah.
I want to go back to physical and digital. We've got these beautiful stores that you're standing up. Have you thought about how the digital and physical might come together in those spaces, or does it not?
Phygital, definitely.
I like that.
It definitely exists. So We know from the customers coming into the store, 90% have come in having already researched Eva. They know all about the product features. They're just here to sit and experience the brand. And I think that's where those two touch points intersect. In terms of our POS system, it's Shopify POS. It's all connected to all of our systems already. So it's quite easy in the sense that somebody can come in and go, cool, what's your name? Oh, you already exist in the system. Great. Here you go. Here's a draft order. It's already all integrated in one. What we have implemented in the store is that there is no counter, because they can sit anywhere in the store and we can grab our phones and tap to pay, orders done. That's the experience that we've been able to translate from an online seamlessness touch point into the store as well. And we're also going to be bringing that to our Sydney store.
And another thing that Amanda did really well was that was then someone asked, like, what happens if someone comes in the store and look at this, I'll buy it online. And Amanda, this is all Amanda, she trained the team to just have that conversation and connection with the customer that say, hey, if you're really sure about this but not too sure, let me send out a draft order or card to you with like all the details in pre, so you just have to like select pay. And that's how we then track that specific customer that have come to the store but purchase online as well.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
Mate, and I'm impressed. There's more you need to think about when you start a business than you think. It's not just a fancy website that can sell a whole bunch of stuff.
I think
all in hindsight, right?
Look, I think that's ways, like if you start a business for the first few years maybe, and you get the right product and you can scale very well. But if you want to be around for a longer term, you have to bring your customer in. And all these are the layers that now we've been 7 years right now, 8 years now. I don't think we'll be able to stay around for this long if we didn't start integrating like our customers into the forefront, because then they're not going to come back at the end of the day if you don't do that. So it gets harder.
Absolutely.
First 2 years of business was like, we're flying, like a business degree, we don't need one. But I obviously Amanda and I have both been humbled by, okay, it gets much harder once you go through like this Dunning-Kruger effect. Like, oh, there's a lot more we absolutely do not know about retail and actually starting a business.
Yeah, I think the scale of the problems change as well. That'll be the other thing as you get bigger. Things that were small problems that you could forget about become bigger and more painful, and they start showing themselves with more scale.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned as well.
And your problems become a lot more expensive.
Exactly.
Your mistakes become a lot more expensive.
Maintaining stuff to a certain standard is always harder than just starting things from scratch as well.
Yes.
Lots of pain there, Marcel.
Yes.
Yes.
Sometimes actually starting from scratch can be a really good way to take a big leap, because especially when in that intercept between business and technology, sometimes you establish a business process or a customer experience and you match the technology with it, and the two diverge, and trying to keep them together becomes costly and hard. And sometimes it can be much better just to hit the reset button. And what that allows you to do is to start with today's tools, not tomorrow's tools. Yeah. So, if for businesses that have been around for multiple decades, if you guys had started 20 years ago, the ERP choice or the CRM choice you would have made 20 years ago is very different to the one that you'd make today. And so if you'd done that 20 years ago, you'd still have it today, and then you'd be questioning, well, what do I do? Do I keep improving it, fixing it,
tech debt,
or yes, or do I hit the big reset button?
Yes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. When we started Eva, obviously we made some mistakes, and then like fixing the margin itself like sounds simple on paper, but then the stuff that we need to do to fix it to have the 15% incrementation was like, wow, that took like 2 years, for example.
Yeah.
So you're in Australia. You're growing Australia. There's 2-3x at least within this market. New Zealand's on the card. So when does Eva Longoria get to earn commission by you selling Eva in America?
Hopefully she listens to this podcast
and reaches out.
We'll hashtag the hell out of it. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Wow, Ken and Amanda are amazing. What an incredible business they built. I tell you what I was most impressed with, how they bring their customer into the product design journey, and more than just the product design journey, how they deeply understand the research and buying journey for their customer as well.
Yeah, and what was really interesting and I was super proud about was their complete focus on only worrying about technology for the next phase.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, because my reflection was I'm worried that a ERP investment could be outdated quickly.
But interestingly, AI might come in and change that into the future, but Amanda and Ken are just rock solid on what they need today for their next phase. And hats off, that's how you run a successful business.
Absolutely, I agree. If you want to see Eva in action, head over to eva.com.au. And if you want to learn more about us, you'll need to head over to therootpodcast.com. We're in your feed at Listen to the Root. The Root Podcast is hosted by me, Rudy Curry.
And me, Marcel Berger. And we're produced by the superstar Dom Evans and the team at ESA.
If you like The Root, give us a follow so you never miss an episode. And leave a star rating. That review helps others find the show, and we really appreciate it. See you next time.
See ya.